So bars is always carte blanche, open menu. Like, why don't you do a mojito? You have mint, you have rum, you have ice, you have sugar, you have lime. Can I get a mojito? By that theory, then I can get French fries in a Michelin-star restaurant as well, because there's surely all in some form of starch potato.
So
I mean,
guess
I'm not shading on mojitos, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying in general, like...
I would love a mojito now, just say.
Well, I know a great bar that does it, because Laut doesn't.
Welcome to another episode of the Dabao Show. In this series, Days Off, we follow a guest from the F&B industry on the day off to see what they get up to, have a meal with them, have a bit of tea, and maybe spill a bit as well. For today, our guest is Leon, the co-owner of Laut.
Hi, my name is Leon. I'm the co-owner of Laut in Singapore, and on my off days, I like to explore new experiences.
Your bartending journey, how did it all begin?
Like starting like normal lah, scrub toilet, scrub bar, went NS, work in some bars. So I graduated from LaSalle Art School, but didn't get any jobs per se lah. Just like freelance, and I mean, young, work in bar, 9 hour, free booze, 西小妹妹. So why not, right? Then I think it just came to an age where I have to be a bit serious about it, lor. Just choose a career path in that sense. More prominent bars I've worked in is, I've worked at Bar Stories before. These are one of the OG ones. Nutmeg in Clove, I was an opening team back in the OG place at An Siang. So there was where I met VJ. He opened up Native, I worked with him. Because I was traveling a lot for Native then, doing like pop-ups, guest shifts overseas. And when COVID hit and flights are grounded, came back, the team is quite self-sufficient and running. That's kind of when I decided to just do my own.
Laut.
I mean, Laut is kind of similar in Native in the vein, right? It's about locavore and stuff, but I just want to streamline a bit more Southeast Asia and food's a bit more seafood lah, because I'm pescatarian as well.
So I want to get whether you have any interesting experiences you have as a bartender. Because I only see it from a chef's point of view, right, of things. But then
Interesting man, chef like? Or
maybe bartender have a better one.
All chefs are alcoholic one.
That's true, bartenders. I can't say you guys are foodies, it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't reverse roles like that.
It is, I'm a foodie. I mean, even when I started when we were young, it's fun, right? Working late in an environment like clubs. I think it's about learning how to manage like different things. You double up as a bouncer, for example, because there are drunk people or people who don't want to pay or people trying to be funny. If you talk about rude and behavioral issues, clubs are the worst for sure, right? Because it's bar service, they try and get your attention, in the fastest, rudest way, something like that.
Looking back, right, do you think you actually enjoy the whole club scene or being in bar for a club scene?
As you get older, then maybe not so much. So you have to go through the phases.
But it was a good experience, interesting.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we are who we are because of the experience that we've gone through. You can't change that. If people talk about changing the past, I would rather do this and do that. That will be different. You might not be the person that you are. Your mentality or your whole religion in general might be altered in a sense.
This is bad news, guys. Means we're gonna have a man down for filming later. So Laut opened during 2019, or was it during COVID?
So the first day of our operation is the first lockdown. Yeah, but I mean the renovation, everything was done, the team is all ready, we just had to pivot, roll with it.
So obviously at that point in time, just like every business, you had to close the shop for a period of time during that lockdown.
Yeah, I mean it was a bit of a scramble, right? But it forced us to get an online platform quickly. I messaged some peers. What are you going to do, what can be done, like bottled cocktails, for example, delivery
Cocktail
platforms.
package. Laut back then was already focused being all Southeast Asian
Correct.
flavors.
So seafood sourcing from Southeast Asia, local craftsmen.
Even cocktails and stuff like that.
So distilleries, breweries, ceramicists, carpenters.
Just like many other businesses, COVID obviously took another turn. What made Laut 1.0 just...
We had to react to a lot of the new laws, right? So it's just shut now, open tomorrow.
Yeah.
If we shut now, what to do with our stocks?
The food, the alcohol is not so bad because...
Yeah. But still, it's just very reactive in that sense. And the laws keep changing. No music and stuff. Who want to come out and
Yeah.
Party, bro.
Ruins-
there was a
ruins
curfew as well, 10:30.
Yeah. Oh god.
But I mean, I'm not alone in this, so everyone kind of went through that, so the community was still quite good. So to answer your question, why we wrapped up was because when we announced our closure, so Frank, business partner Frank, gave me a Zoom call. I actually was in New York for work. We did a Zoom call and said like, hey, we gotta call it short, you know. We're not a big conglomerate, money's tight, let's just take a step back and see what to do next. So when we announced our closure, you know, I've never been so popular in my life. So
Not yet.
I mean, I don't want to be popular, bro. I want to be super underground.
Then we're doing this video for
But yeah, so everyone was coming, you know, friends of friends. Of course, the emotions then was definitely angry, right? I mean,
Yeah.
anger, sorry, right? Feeling like anger, like, oh, I needed your support then, not now, you know, when we're closing, then you
Yeah.
come and like support 2 weeks running out, you know, and it was ramped up. And then,
Yeah.
can I say it here? Yeah, sure. You know, obviously doing illegal shit because we didn't care we were closing. Right? It's like full-on party, right? Like we're talking like 50 packs, 2 turns, so 100 packs, 3 turns, you know, in like a 5-hour span. So for 2-3 weeks, we were running full steam ahead. And for a long time, I felt anger for sure. But then through some process, I can't remember who told me, but somewhere along the lines, you know, imagine if you close your shop and no one came. Isn't that sadder?
Yeah.
And then it's all about perspective, right? So it just kind of changed my perspective, and yeah, that's fair. So because it was packed, and on hiatus we're doing a lot of international and local pop-ups as well.
So this was when Lawood closed,
Shut.
but then it's just keeping the brand active while maintaining the brand at the same time.
Locally, it was to do with different type of pop-ups. So not just a bar, but I'm more bar trained, right? I'm a cocktail bartender per se, but it's to work with chefs, you know, to get insights, to do tasting menu style, to do food fair style, you know, more casual. It's just me restructuring and getting a sense of what to do next. Do we go back to a full 50-seater or do we chill, or do we not open even? It's not unique to me, right? But I mean, everybody has gone through their trials and tribulations, right? And stuff like that. But it's just how we learn from it and stuff, right? The tricky part, if you make the same mistake, that's... Should I say that? Fucking love Thailand. Thailand's getting too pricey now, man.
Once Lawood closed, then you started doing all these pop-ups to like keep going on, keeping the brand on, and also exploring different options while you work out a formative plan before it gets to, well, now Lawood 2.0. But like back then you were like just testing things out. But at the same time, like I think it came to a point that you realized like, yeah, it's too many like events, or like how long more do I have to go with this pop-up?
Pop-up fatigue is real, right? Because I mean, Singapore is still small. I mean, this is the tricky part. We're not as dense as many other cities. Kind of everybody's just sharing this same pool per se, right? So pop-up fatigue means, you know, you just keep saying the same guests, although it might be a different variation of the menu, it might be new dishes, new drinks. But people get tired lah. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing, because
for both consumer and the host.
in fact, for Lawood, it's harder because we don't have a home base. You know, wastage is higher. My point is there's nowhere to call home. So if they enjoy the food and drinks, where do they go? There's nowhere to go because the next place is another. It's like a nomadic kind of thing.
Because you were 50-seater back then, so I think like now coming to Lawood 2.0, you obviously also like thought about maybe I want a smaller scale.
It's solving a few problems that is current now, which is F&B has manpower shortage.
Yes.
Don't even talk about good stuff, can't even find staff, staffing in general. And then next, property rental is off the charts. So we took a 2-year hiatus, wasn't that often as well. It was average maybe 1 every 2 months or something, because we were busy traveling as well. So I would say I was lucky in my prior employment, you know, I got to have a lot of connection internationally. So did some pop-ups in Japan, a couple of prefectures, some friends loaned us their bar. The way I see it is maybe a DJ or a rock band, you know, or Taylor Swift, right? Yeah, it's on tour.
We gotta be careful on camera.
So cut the Taylor Swift. But it's a conscious decision to do a particular pop-up. It's a conscious decision in Japan to do what kind of pop-up. You know, we did Mumbai as well with some restaurants. I did some in Nepal as well.
Any interesting or captivating things that you had during your overseas pop-up?
I mean, it's cultural, lor. I mean, same thing, right? In Japan, even no matter how busy, they will still work in their own pace. I mean, say in Japan in general it's an umbrella, but there are some Japanese bartenders that work very fast as well.
Yeah.
So once again, these are all different tiers per se. When I tell younger staff that I work with as well, You don't even have to go to top restaurants or bars to learn, right? You can learn how. It's how where you want to learn. You can work in clubs and still learn something.
There's still a learning point regardless.
There is. So you choose how to. You pick up what you want to learn.
Okay, so tell us more a bit about Laut 2.0.
Same DNA as Laut in general. 2.0 is just more of a physical space manifestation. So it's a small, quaint, small 10-seater. I mean, I guess the word is intimate and cozy. So still local regional musicians, distillers, carpenters.
Your snacks, food, everything.
For this space, 2.0, we kind of make it more snack style. So 1-2 biters. So it's not really a dinner place. Cocktails are still our main offerings.
It is a cocktail bar, so
cocktail bars also have very decent food program, and I guess I will try to get back to what we were before, I guess, in a sense.
if anyone wants to pick up bartending, right, what traits should they?
Don't do it. I mean, I have a bit of OCD. I think it helps in general, just cleanliness. And I think that can be applied in all walks of your personal life, right? What makes a good bartender? Actually, for a long time, I think banter. So basically, banter meaning, as a bartender, you can chat about almost anything under the sun, right? Like, I mean, of course, there are few topics we try not to touch, right? Like politics or etc. More touchy subjects. But I think it's about banter. People come for a drink, a good time, and chat about other things. Where to get a good deal in Japan. Where do you go shopping in Spain? I don't know, stuff like that. Just shooting the breeze. Good shoot the breeze. I don't know.
They mentioned earlier that people shouldn't take the job, right? But at the same time, I think there are some things that people should think about. Late hours. I don't want to put it poorly, but there are different tiers of bartending, right?
Yes,
it can be
of course.
like your pub,
Different markets, yeah.
your pub, your
clubs.
yeah. Right. Then you have like cocktail bars and whatnot,
late
right?
hours and late hours.
Or even like a bistro, say like just making like cocktails or house cocktails or whatever. It's like kitchen, right? You can work in a you can work in a hawker, you can work in a small shop. People should think about hours. Like it's gonna be late.
Yeah, it's not even just late, right? It's long hours. That's why people pay to go out and eat and drink, because maybe people don't cook or do the drinks at home. I mean, if you can, it's also you're paying for the whole ambience, right? Vibe.
Yeah.
Vibe is important. Most people don't realize you're paying for the vibe. I see it like that, I mean, there are guests who come and maybe meet their friend and they don't want to drink, I'm not drinking. But they're taking up a space. Don't realize, who's paying for the aircon? I'm paying rent. It trickles down, right?
Yes.
I don't live rent free in your house.
Every little thing actually counts also, right? Like what you mentioned earlier, I think talking to guests is also part of comes with the work.
But it's also reading, and this comes with experience, whether this couple want to be left alone, or is it a business meeting scenario or business dinner. I think this is also a good skill in that sense. This is a human skill. Is it an emotional skill? I don't know. It's a human skill, right? Because it's not as straightforward as it is. I say, talk to this guest about XYZ, But if I have a young staff and it goes on and on and on and can't read facial expressions, that this couple wants to be left alone, they want to make out in a corner, right? And then you go on and on about like what's good in Spain,
So there's a lot of people skills, a lot of individual knowing, character reading.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I say people skills is the forward-facing skill that is good, and then the skill set on the logistics side, like almost like chef, like you said, cleanliness, inventory, basically.
What about the cocktail building, that side of things? Like, is that taught or that can be worked on?
I mean, yes and no. I can read a cookbook, but doesn't mean I can cook, right? I can mimic it, right? And I can cook that's where also the difference between, let's say, a home cook or working in a professional kitchen, or working in a high volume hawker or a 10-seater tasting menu, right? So the skills also vary. Well, the regular path normally is you start mass market, right? Start in a club, you learn about your basics, you learn how to deal with drunkards, you learn how to deal with a drunk manager.
That's actually a good skill as well.
Yeah, right. But you usually start with that. Then at least you know your basics, then maybe you can go into a bit more niche. But I mean, nowadays it's all upside down, you know. There are a lot of chefs, because as a manpower thing as well, so maybe you start with tasting menu, you know, more omakase, carte blanche, then they can't handle high volume, for example. Right? So, but there's no right or wrong, but from my understanding, or at least my route was fast-paced, high volume, learn your basics, learn a bit of flair, learn how to deal with drunk customers, learn how to deal with drunk managers, then choose the path that I wanted, which is, I guess, this path now is Laut.
What's your cocktail?
Nice lah, don't complain. This is me, one cocktail into service. After come over. This is me, cocktail after service.
This is a wedding one, right?
Yeah.
For bars, it's a bit different than restaurants for sure. You know, it's not a sit down. You can't do 4 packs. You know, bar is always changing, right? 4 become 5, 5 become 2, because it's always in and out, right? You call friends in, hey, it's a great bar. You know, music's vibing. You know, I've got a friend nearby. Come over, get a drink. You know, it's not a sit down dinner. So I can't treat it like a sit down dinner. So we still want people to have a good time. You know, so good times also have different subcategories. People ask me, friends ask me, what's my favorite bar? Then it depends what I want to do.
Yeah. See?
If I want to get shit-faced, yeah, I've got this favorite bar. You know, if I want to go there for a nice like chill session alone, you know, read a book.
Yeah.
I mean, don't read a book in a bar. But my point is,
Pro tip.
my point is, if you want that, there's another space for that. Don't go to the place where everyone's getting drunk.
So what's the end goal in all of this?
I think I'm here to maybe not educate, but to share better eating and drinking. You can't win everybody, right?
Yep.
Which-star restaurants get 1-star reviews too, right? It's very subjective. If you talk about palettes and visuals and everything, right? One person sour is another person sweet. And if you talk about knowledge and everything, you know, yeah, I think some of them just take themselves too seriously. I think my end goal, talk about technology and AI and whatnot, I think in a cocktail bar especially, which Laut is sort of the last bastion of communication. You just come, have a good drink, have a good time. You like it? Great, come back. You don't like it, don't be a dick and drop a 1-star, you know, just don't come back.
That's a pro tip there.
Don't come back, it's fine. But here's the kicker, it's human, it's very human when it sucks to drop a 1-star, but when it's good, they don't drop a 5.
Yeah, I agree.
So if anything, that's imbalance lah.
What about the end goal for yourself? Is there anything that you look forward to?
I mean, I want to die in my bar, man. Have a stroke, to be honest. Like,
good.
every Singaporean son and daughter loves Japan, right? But, you know, they do crazy shit. I mean, I love Japan for a different thing, you know. You go to a lot of the bars and restaurants, they respect the craft, they know how to behave. I mean, you can don't like it, it's fine, but they still know how to behave, you know, is my point. That's why some bars in Japan get bad flack, because, you know, sometimes the bar is empty and then they get rejected, and then these guests label them as racist or whatever because they're gaijins, foreigners. Yeah. But that's not the truth. The truth is actually they can't give us, I mean the gaijins, the kind of the service that they want to give because of a language barrier. So they rather just say, nah, I don't need your business, man. So when you go to these Japanese bars and then or restaurants and then you suddenly start behaving yourself because you respect the craft. But for Singapore, maybe we are not there yet, and even worse for bartending, you know, because it's always chasing kitchens, you know. Chef can put anything on the table and people still eat that up, you know. And for bars, it's always carte blanche, open menu, like. Why don't you do a mojito? You have mint, you have rum, you have ice, you have sugar, you have lime. Can I get a mojito? By that theory, then I can get French fries in a Michelin-star restaurant as well, because there's surely all in some form of starch potato.
Yeah, but they can say no, but like...
They know because the chefs turn those potato into something amazing. And I, in general, would like to turn this mint and rum into something amazing. I just don't want to call it a mojito lah.
So
I mean, I'm not shading on mojitos, don't get me wrong.
So I guess you strive to like improve the drinking culture as well. I mean, not just about drinking, but it's also like...
I mean, Singapore is getting expensive day by day, right? I mean, I'm just being ranting now, right? But you know, you have your hard-earned money, eat and drink better lah. Pick and choose, don't just go online. Because even good restaurants, there's a diverse range as well. Cocktail bars, 50 best, there's a diverse range as well. But the truth is, everyone just goes online and just follows blindly lah. I mean, I'm not trying to be stuck up or whatever, but just don't be a dick lah. Don't be rude. Have some patience. Take a seat. Walk through the menu or what we do.
I think going with an open mind as well. Hell, maybe their recommendation or their version of whatever might be better than what I even expected. So it's not that hard. Like, just because you're nudged out of your comfort zone doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad time. So what do you think about places like...
This kind of establishments you're talking about is, I would say, very entry level. Nothing against it, but I hope more customers and guests actually grow out of it. You know, going back to eating and drinking better. Yeah, just make more informed decisions. And then, you know, ourselves have been in the industry for quite long, you know. Hopefully we can share that knowledge lah. So to answer your question about these places, it's trash.
Okay, I'm going to one up that question. I don't really rate such places. In fact, like I think the term for is maybe, let's see, the birds are like joining in on the conversation. I think we'll rate this place as somewhat gimmicky or...
Gimmicky is fine, you know. Every establishment has some form of gimmicks. You know, I think gimmicks need to make sense.
And it's also subjective on how gimmicky. Some people might find it cool.
Yeah, add things that add value. But then again, you know, it adds value to the particular person, right? Every establishment has some form of gimmicks, don't get me wrong. I think it's just how it's done a bit more classier. Just a classy guy, man.